Chapter 18, starting a new section, a new idea. And it begins with the Alter Rebbe saying that we need to explain from the title page the verse that we are having 53 chapters to explain. One verse in the Torah. I mean, of course, we're explaining many more at the same time, but it's this one all-encompassing verse, right? Kikar ve'elecha, that this thing is very close to you, your relationship with God, Torah and mitzvahs is very close to you, beficha, in your mouth, l'vavcha la'asesa, in your heart to do. So to explain further, what do you mean very close? It's not just close, it's not just near, it's not just accessible and real, and very plausible, but it's very near. So how that a bit? Well, what if a person, as we've learned till now, that near meant that being mindful, and from the mind, it affects the heart. It gives birth to at least a knowing heart, an understanding heart, and even greater than that, a palpable feeling of love and awe of God. But what if the person lacks the capability? What if they don't have the tools to meditate? What if they don't have the knowledge on what to meditate upon? Because they're not learning. They haven't come around and learned Tanya. And even from Tanya, it's limited compared to maybe other teachings that, go into greater depth. And what if the person maybe is learned, but, in this day and age, and imagine even 200 years ago, that was, the Alter Rebbe says, true, but today, I make the joke, there used to be commercials that were a whole minute. Then they were 30 seconds. Now they're like 5 seconds. Now, it's not just a question of money, but I think it's also a question of how much we can concentrate. Can we concentrate a full minute on something? Get a message in a full minute? Oh, maybe 30 seconds only. Or maybe today 5 seconds. Meaning that our minds are very, all over the place. So, yet, the verse says it's very near. So it has to be very near, even to the individual who doesn't have the wherewithal to think about the greatness of God, to appreciate the value of a mitzvah, that they could actually meditate upon and think about it. And yet, it's very near that it can bring you to even true love and awe of God, and a palpable feeling in the heart that can even bring you to that. So how's this possible? So the Alter Rebbe says that there's a hidden love present in the hearts of all Jews that is an inheritance to all Jews from the patriarchs. This is actually what defines us as being Jewish. This love is possessed. This love is a possession that we have as an inheritance. In other words, we didn't create it, so you just kind of have to arouse it and not create it, as opposed to what we learned in the last chapters about creating the love through mindfulness. That's much harder. That's a long route. This is a short way. As in the title page, it says the long way and the short way. The long way is breaking your head. The short way is something that's there. The long way, you got to create it. The short way, you don't create it. It's an inheritance. It's a given. We just have to arouse it. But first we need to preface and have a clear and precise explanation of what's the origin of this love. In other words, where does this come from in the soul? Where does it stem from? That's one question. Second question is, what's the character quality of this love? In other words, we know that there's a love of God that seeks unity, to be bound up with God, There's another character quality of love, a different kind, that is a yearning that brings you to almost self-extinction, that you want to kind of be usurped or enveloped into the fire above, as it were, right? That's another kind of love. So what's the nature of this love? What's its character quality? Especially we call it a hidden love, which is an oxymoron. Love is something revealed, right? Like, try to go tell your spouse, I have a hidden love for you. Well, maybe express it and don't hide it. It's a hidden love. Furthermore, what does it mean, an inheritance of this love? How could love be an inheritance? Now, we know that we get, for example, from our parents certain genes. Meaning, if they're brilliant, well, we might also be brilliant. If they are, impatient, well, I might have that character quality also. But if your parents loved, love chicken soup, doesn't mean you'll love chicken soup. If your parents love Judaism, doesn't mean you'll love Judaism. That's not an inheritance. Love you don't inherit. So what does it mean that it's an inheritance? And furthermore, as we know in everything, there is not just love, there's also respect / fear / awe of God too. So how does the awe of God fit in with this love that we call it as an inheritance? So those are the few questions that we need to ask. That's actually a very short class today.